Hi guys, welcome to my channel, welcome back to some Battlefield 4. Now this has been at least 2 months since I've played Battlefield, and since then there has been a huge patch, and you know what? People are saying it's made the game better, made the game how it should have been when it was first released. Now, I know I'm going to struggle. I came into this knowing I was going to struggle. Now this is on the PC, and any of you guys out there know that this is the elitist platform. You know, this is the way to play these first-person shooters. Mouse and keyboard, mouse and keyboard. Anyway, you'll see me really struggling from time to time. This isn't the first round that I've actually played. I've actually cheated. I actually did a few warm-up rounds, and I absolutely got my butt smacked. Yeah. I really did. They've done some changes to the way that the actual dynamics, I guess, I don't know, dynamics, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but certainly they've changed the way this game plays out. First of all, let's think. The first way is, actually, if you look at the sights when I go ADS, when the gun bounces around, you'll see that the center crosshair actually doesn't move. In the previous version, it did. It just about, and so you're constantly trying to actually adjust for that. Now it doesn't do that. The whole gun moves around, that recoil, but the center doesn't, and so it just takes a little while to get used to that again. You know, you have to start to dial in a few things. I also noticed that there's a little bit of sway if you go ADS too long. The gun actually starts to sway a bit. Now I think that may be put in there to stop people from camping and just sitting there, so it gives a little bit of movement. I've not heard anyone say that, but I certainly noticed it and thought, well, that's a bit different. What else have they changed? They've changed the assault rifles. The assault rifles got a bit of a nerf. The damage on the assault rifles was certainly dialed down a bit. This means, and I can't remember the stats on this anymore, but I think it means at least four bullets, I think it is. 4 bullets at close quarters it takes to kill somebody. Now, what they didn't do was nerf the PDWs. Now, PDW is the engineer class weapon. Now, the PDW now is on par with an assault rifle in close quarters. And so it can make sense when you're playing these close quarter maps to actually run with a PDW, because they're fire fasting, a little bit lighter, you move around a little bit better, and what have you. And so there's some real advantages. You know, some of them have more bullets in the magazine, and you know, they only take 4 bullets to drop somebody at close quarters. So there's a huge advantage in that. So I know there was some other tweaks and stuff to some of the other assault weapons. You know, the ones that felt they were a little bit overpowered. They have been changed. Now, the weapon I'm using now, and I can't remember, the L85A2 used to be one of my favourite weapons until I unlocked some of the others like the Bulldog and blah blah blah. But apparently this one didn't get touched too much in the patch, and it's actually quite a good weapon now. Not that it wasn't a good weapon before, but it's worthwhile giving it a go, and you know, I certainly can recommend it. I had a great round in this. You know, this is TDM, and here you can see that rock was just eating up all of my bullets, even though I was shooting over it, blinking, thinking in the way. Anyway, back to what some of the changes they've made. Apparently they've made some changes with the netcode, so that you shouldn't be trade killing too often. Now, that's not right, because I did a lot of that, and I'm not sure if it's in this video and some of the others, but certainly I was having a lot of trade kills, and that's really frustrating. You know, you should, if you fire first, should be the one, you know, unless your aim is really off, they should be going down. Now, in this particular map, this is a US server, so I wasn't expecting to do too great. My ping was just above 100, but the rest of these guys were definitely in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. So they were playing the advantage, and certainly there was a few times where the lag just kind of kicked in, and you know, they were just eating up my bullets, just sponge, and you know, and I was just dropping with what it seemed like 1 bullet, or the guy would come around the corner pre-firing and I go down, you know, so fast that, you know, I would almost think that the guy's hacking, but you know, I'm pretty sure he hasn't, because he would have been called out. Anyway, that's enough about my terrible aim and my terrible gameplay and my terrible connection. What else have they done? They've done some visual things. You'll notice that my mini-map is slightly bigger. You can change that. It's about 25% bigger than it used to be. You can change the size of the icons on there. You can change the whole world icons. you'll notice actually, I don't know if you'll see this, so watch out for this, but if I have a teammate who is in front of me, their health bar when I go ADS disappears. Now you can turn that off. It just kind of declutters the screen. There's nothing worse than having a teammate in front of you and you see an enemy behind him and you go to shoot and all you can see is all this information on the screen. Well, they've tweaked it now and you can change it down. You can change whether it appears, whether it's not, how big it is, and you know how transparent it is, and that's quite good. I still need to play around with this now. What I didn't realise is that in this particular server it had been changed, and you'll see that the little orange squares that should be, or triangles that should be above my opponent's head, just aren't there. Now that kind of made it a bit tricky because I often thought that they were friendlies, and yeah, and so I died a couple of times because I just hesitate just that little bit too much. You know, if he's shooting at me, then I'll shoot back. But when you first see them, it wasn't there, and I think that's something that this server had turned off. That kind of made the game a little bit interesting, and I quite like that. Also, I noticed that the health, my health wasn't regenerating like it should do, so that was a pain as well. So I had to find that I was switching and playing around with classes a bit, just trying to work out what the best one is. Now obviously I'm running here as a medic, so I can chuck down a medic bag, but if you were playing support or engineer on this particular server, then it became a pain. You had to rely on medics and what have you to get your health back. Trying to think what some of the other changes that they made. Yeah, they've changed the way when the game first starts. It always used to be that the person with with maybe an SSD drive and a really good connection had the huge advantage of spawning in first and could really get to some of the points or get to some of the places really quickly, advantage over everybody else because they could get into the game a lot quicker. Now apparently that has been changed, and you'll have noticed when the game first started that there's a button that asks for ready, and what it does, it waits for enough people to say that they're ready before the game will actually start, which is really good, especially if you want to tweak some of your loadouts and what have you. And so that just gives you a little bit of time just to mess around with your settings and stuff without having to worry that the game's going to get started without you. I'm trying to think some of the other things that they've changed. I can't really think, but anyway, so let's go back to my gameplay. Did I enjoy playing this? It was frustrating to start off with, really, really frustrating. It took me ages to get back into this game, and I really struggled. Matter of fact, in this particular gameplay, my brother-in-law actually FaceTimed me whilst I was playing, and he's in France, been trying to get hold of us for a while, so I decided to take the call, and I actually stopped for a few minutes, and you'll see that at the end when you look at the scoreboard, actually I did okay, even though I took like 5 or 10 minutes out of the game, and this was a long game, but I took about 5-10 minutes out of this and then did really well. So I was getting back into it, starting to enjoy it a bit more. The fast pace of TDM is it is fun, but can be frustrating. I almost thought maybe I should switch to some conquest or some domination, but I enjoyed this. Oh, one of the other features, I don't know if you can see this, but that guy had a little counter. He had a little circle above his head. That's what they call like a triage system. So if you've got multiple friendlies that are down, you can actually see which one went down first and how much time they have before it's no longer worth actually trying to revive them. So if you see somebody who gets shot behind a wall and you're not sure whether it's safe to go get him, you can see how much time you've got. So there may be time actually to peek that wall, see if there's anybody there. If there is, take them out and still get time to revive that person. So I love that. I thought that was a really good idea. So you could also if he's actually gone past that point of where he can actually be revived again, it's a good indicator so you don't actually run out and get shot. You'd be surprised how many times you die just trying to revive a teammate, and that can just be really annoying. Anyway, this video is coming to a close within a few minutes, so I'm just going to let it play out. This literally was just like a highlight of the game. There's a huge section missing out because I took that call, but it was one of my better rounds. Certainly as the evening progressed from here on in, I was doing a lot better as I was just getting to grips with the way that they've changed the dynamics of the aiming, the dynamics of the game. Apparently you move a little bit quicker in this as well. I hadn't really noticed, but maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe it's placebo effect, but I have heard some of the other YouTubers actually talking that that the movement is meant to be a bit quicker in this, just kind of speed the game up a bit. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you like this. I hope to get back to some more Battlefield 4 and some more content. I got a few more videos that I want to post. If I've got time, I'll get them up this week. If not, next week. I will catch you later. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, bye.
Spotted a hostile soldier. Only 5 more to go, and then victory is ours.